It's 15 minutes to 9 o'clock, and that means it's time for Agrobuzz.
I like to see Jamaica become crime free. In Jamaica, now we're Jamaican for economy. No more breed the last thing. Revelation set. Eat what we grow what we eat. It is good for our economy.
You know how it goes on Wednesdays. Agrobuzz has us speaking with folks from the ministry and from our farms and fisheries and all sorts of information. So today we're looking at the fact that Jamaica is on high alert for the African swine fever due to an outbreak in the Dominican Republic. Now, that's the first detection in the Western Hemisphere in over 40 years. This outbreak was reported by the United States Department of Agriculture last month, following confirmation by its Foreign Animal Disease Lab that African swine fever, they call it ASF, was detected in samples from pigs in Dom Rep. Now, we have on the phone Dr. Osbil Watson. He's Chief Veterinary Officer at the Veterinary Services Division, and he's going to tell us a little more about this disease and the implications for our pork industry. Good morning, Dr. Watson. How are you doing?
Good morning, Paula, and good morning, Jamaica. I'm doing great, thank you.
African swine fever? What exactly is it, sir?
Yes. Well, African swine fever, it's a highly contagious, deadly viral disease affecting domestic and wild pigs. It was first discovered in Africa, and in Montgomery, Kenya, in about 1921. So it has been around for quite a while, and it actually spread across the entire Europe, Africa, and to some islands in the Caribbean some 40 plus years ago, after which it would have been eradicated from this region, from the Americas. But as you said, it reared its ugly head in the Dom Rep just a few days ago. So it's pretty much, one of those very deadly viral diseases, which has an incubation period, of course, of up to 2-3 weeks. And normally affected pigs would just die, which, you know exactly when you have this disease, because pigs will just start dying.
Well, let's talk about that some more. So our pigs are threatened. How is it carried?
Well, African swine fever is one of those transboundary animal diseases, which means that it's a disease that goes across the border, in terms of movement of people, movement of aircraft, movement of ships, and cargo, etc. So the virus is found in all the body fluids and tissues of infected pigs. And, healthy animals, healthy pigs will get infected when they are exposed to contaminated material, even the feeding of garbage containing infected meat. And that's why we speak of persons not to feed swill or restaurant, food waste from restaurants or ships should not be fed to pigs, because if it's infected, then you can get, the virus into your country as easy as that. But the virus is very, very resistant. It can survive for several years in frozen carcasses of animals.
Oh my gosh! So what should our farmers be looking out for? What are the symptoms?
Well, as I indicated before, normally, with African swine fever, you will know that something is wrong, because animals just start dying. They may have a high fever, loss of appetite. They may have depression, vomiting or diarrhea, hemorrhages. Right, you might see them huddling together in groups and shivering. You might see some difficulty in breathing, some discharge from the nose, etc. but you'll have them dying in a very short period of time.
Oh, Lord. By the time you see it, it's too late. And therefore, farmers need help. What are the measures the ministry has put in place to prevent it from entering Jamaica?
Yes, well, we are very concerned because, as you would have been aware, the mortality rate for this disease is almost 100%. So almost 100% of pigs that get it will die. And we saw from the outbreak in China in 2018, where China has lost close to 300 million pigs by way of culling or death. And that 300 million pigs that China lost is about 25% of the global population of pigs. So we are very concerned. And by the way, the local pork remains a safe and nutritious protein source because we do not have the disease here. And so because of the fact that there is no treatment, there's no vaccine, we have to ensure that we implement preventative measures. One of the major one is to safeguard our borders. So we are working with Jamaica Customs, our Passport and Immigration, and our other areas like the National Fisheries Authority, the Coast Guard, to ensure that we safeguard our borders, from entry of any illegal pork products coming in or contaminated products. So close monitoring also of garbage that come off vessels, of aircraft, etc. If any garbage that comes off an aircraft must go directly into an incinerator. In relation to public awareness, that's what we have, been embarking on. And one of the major things that the pig farmers need to do is to increase their on-farm biosecurity. Do not allow visitors on the farms, right? Because one of the ways of introduction of spread is by way of, say visitors from who may have visitors areas which are contaminated, and they come onto your farm with contaminated shoes, contaminated clothes, and the virus can be on these things for days. Mm-hmm. So on-farm biosecurity measures, good hygiene practice on the farm, and simply if you have a big farm and you go out to the road to purchase some feed and you hire a little pickup to take it to your farm, let the pickup stop at the gate and then put the bags of feed across the fence, and the pickup goes on its merry way, because you never know.
Can transport it on the tires.
On the sides of the vehicle. So
lots to think about, Dr. Watson. Thank you so much. And let's see if we can take all the precautions and keep it away as much as possible. Thank you so much.
And we must remember that our local pork remains a safe and nutritious protein source.
As it does, and we're trying to keep it that way. So thank you for helping to spearhead this charge and for speaking with us this morning. Folks, Dr. Osbil Watson, Chief Veterinary Officer at the Veterinary Services Division, giving us important information on that dreaded African swine disease and what we can do to prevent it coming to Jamaica. Did you know the last outbreak of African swine fever in the Americas occurred between 1980 and 1984? China also had outbreaks of this disease in 2018, which actually devastated its pig population. So let's protect our pork industry by not bringing pork products into the country, as we continue to say yes to fresh. Eat what we grow what we eat. And for more info on what's happening in the agricultural and agro-industry sectors, visit the ministry's website at moa.gov.jm. Follow them on Facebook at Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Check them out on Twitter and Instagram at MOAFJM. Next week again, Agrobuzz on Wednesday.